Am I the asshole? For refusing to talk to my parents until they give me an honest answer to my question? I live with my parents and my younger siblings. We were very close until recently. My first mom died when I was 6 days old. She developed eclampsia in late stages of the pregnancy with me and she never recovered from it. A few weeks later my dad packed up and moved with me because he couldn't stay where they were planning a life together. This left her family behind. She has parents, siblings, nieces and nephews, aunts, uncles and cousins who were always a very tight-knit family. My dad met my adoptive mom when I was 7 months old. Out of insecurity on my mom's part and a desire to forget the future he had planned with my mom, contact between my biological maternal side was limited to once a year. My mom didn't want to share the role of mom. She knew my family would want to talk about my mom around me and would want me to know that she existed. But she didn't want to feel like she was less of a true mom. And my dad has just never gotten over the pain of losing my mom and he buries the past in her to cope. I don't fully understand why they couldn't put me first in that decision. But they didn't. My childhood was mostly happy. It had some negatives like wishing I knew my family better or had known my mom. Also I wasn't accepted by my adopted mom's family, so that was always fun. Then I had more contact with my family. It started with texting, calling and Zoom calls regularly, and then convincing my dad to let me go for a weekend here and there. He and my mom did not like it and the decision confused my siblings too. I have loved getting to know them and they have loved getting to know me. Grandparents' rights weren't an option for them because of that one visit a year. So seeing me more is huge for them. My parents really started to let me know how much they disliked all this extra contact. My dad said it's painful and my mom told me she feels less important because I am chasing a relationship that ties to a mom I don't remember. A couple of weeks ago they told me I should think of them and my mom's feelings. I asked them how they would feel if they were in my mom's shoes or her family's shoes. If they died while their child was just a baby and they were erased by their spouse and his new spouse, would they be okay with that? And would they be okay if my siblings or I died with a newborn and they never got to be a real part of their lives? They refused to answer. I told them I didn't want to speak until they gave me an answer because they were being totally unfair to me. My parents are angry about this and my siblings asked me why I had to make this such a big deal. So I posed the question: if one of us died and we never got to see their only child, would they be okay with that? It helped them to understand, but my parents don't like my no talking thing. But all they want to talk about is this topic. And they also won't give me an answer. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. I never understand why a parent would want to deny their child additional people who love them. It makes no sense. The more people who love and support your kid, the better. You also have a right to know your family, and it doesn't have to take anything away from anyone else. Few questions. 1. What happens when you turn 18 and your parents realize that they can't tell you what to do anymore and you decide to go visit your birth mom's family more? 2. Would they disown you? 3. Or what happens when you move out, get married in the future and want your birth mom's family at your wedding? What, then? You can never have too many people that love your child. Not the asshole. This is not about a relationship with a mom you never knew, it's about a multitude of relationships with cousins, aunts, uncles and grandparents that are very much alive and that your parents prevented you from having in your life. Your father failed you. And if he hasn't overcome his grief and his wife her insecurities in 17 years, that's on them and not on you. Not the asshole. To try to replace your relationship with your biological mother's family with your adoptive mother's family is a horrible thing to do. Especially considering your adoptive mother's family's attitude towards you. Your parents are putting their feelings before yours. It quite frankly doesn't matter if it upsets them, you absolutely deserve the opportunity to build and have a good relationship with your biological mother's family. Not the asshole. I would ask your father what he thinks your bio mom, who he supposedly loved, would feel about knowing she would be erased for the sake of sparing another woman's feelings. What a slap in the face to her memory. It's truly disgusting and evil. You have nothing to apologize for, they should feel ashamed. Not the asshole. Just make it clear to them that you don't love them any less. But you want to have a relationship with all your family. Not just them. And since you are referring to your stepmom as mom, that tells me you do love and see her as your mom. Try giving her a hug and tell her that you do love her. But you need to be a part of the rest of your family too. Not the asshole. Tell them to watch Kung Fu Panda 2. Love is not finite. Just because there are more people for you to love and cherish, does not mean that there is less love for them. You can spend time with your extended family and still love your mother, adopted or not. By her logic, you should be asking why she had children. After all, does she not love you? If she doesn't love you, why did she have more kids? Having more kids obviously means that there is less love for you, right? Which isn't true. At all. Not the asshole. Sounds like you've got them pinned to the wall. They could have headed this off by making your feelings a priority in the past. Not the asshole. This may be something you won't be able to pursue until you're a legal adult, unfortunately. I wouldn't take the stance of not speaking to them, however, this won't solve anything. What I would recommend is that you make it clear that if she wants to truly be your mom and your dad wants to be a good parent, they would not stop you from doing this. And, that their behaviors are directly causing damage to your relationships. You have every right to have contact with your family. They are your blood relatives. Your father and adoptive mother are being selfish and absolutely ridiculous. I wouldn't speak to them either. Not the asshole. They won't give an answer because they know exactly what it would mean.